Hello, and welcome back to the Endless Academy. In today's video, we will be playing the Cravers. I am also using the ESG 1.6 mod pack with these game settings. So let's get started. Welcome to Husk, a bombed-out, sweltering nuclear wasteland. Ever wanted to swim in the crater of a thermonuclear warhead? Look no further. Your goal as the Cravers is to get off Husk as soon as possible, as it will soon be depleted. Depleting your core worlds early can be disastrous, as you will get minus 50% FIDSI and 50% resource yield. You must find or conquer new worlds before it is too late. The first thing we should do is take note of our starting system's planets. We have a boreal planet, a swamp planet, a lava planet, and Husk itself. While it will be some time before we can colonize the swamp and lava planet, we do start with the technology to colonize boreal at the start of the game, allowing us to escape Husk early. We should then queue up our constructions, starting with drone networks, followed by xeno-industrial infrastructure, cerebral reality, and then finishing with our boreal colonization. These constructions will take less than 5 turns, which is very important, as Husk will deplete in 10 turns or less, as seen here. Now we can take a look at our starting technologies. We should first research xenobiology, as this gives us access to public-private partnerships, which gives plus 10 science per fertile, per planet, and per temperate. If we take a look at our starting system, you will see that Husk is both a planet and fertile, meaning we will gain plus 20 science from Husk. Xeno-industrial infrastructure also takes advantage of this, giving us 20 production as well. These buildings will scale as we colonize more planets in our starting system, which is why early colonization is most important to early production. We can also pass a law turn 1, of which we should pass the Exam Cram Act. This will give us enough science to research xenobiology in 2 turns instead of 3. The malice from being unhappy will actually go away next turn. I found the bonus to science is more important than the penalty to food and influence. Let's take a look at our starting constellation. The Cravers have a unique start and get 2 exploration ships instead of 1, allowing us to search more curiosities and have more military power. We should first send out our colonization ship in search of new systems to colonize. Next, we will combine our 2 scavengers together and assign our hero to it. This will give more experience to our hero, as the 2 exploration ships will share the experience with the hero as they search curiosities. This is important as we will assign our hero as a governor later on. Let's search our curiosities. As our final action, let's set an encryption hacking program on our capital in case anybody tries to hack us. This concludes turn 1. On turn 2, continue to explore for new systems to colonize. With our hero fleet, we will be using the probes to explore down the neighboring star lanes. This is because on turn 3, we will unlock Era 2 in Science and Exploration, which will give us access to basic warp drive, which is a faster engine than what the Cravers start with. This will allow our hero fleet to move around much faster. Whenever possible, use this button right here to execute your fleet's movements, and we have discovered a minor faction up here. Whenever you've discovered a minor faction, make sure to declare war as soon as possible. This is because the Cravers have a law called the Jingoist Joy Bill, which will give you plus 45 approval if at war, and minus 10 approval if not at war. Now, we can upgrade our fleet's engines, like so. We will be equipping the basic warp drive over the string gravitics engine. Make sure to apply it to one of your hero's engines as well. This hero fleet currently has 6 movement. By applying 1 engine, we will have 7 movement, the same as our other ships. Then, we will upgrade the ships here for 43 dust. Since we have reached Era 2 in Science and Exploration, let's choose our next research path. Because we have no easy colonizations available for research, we will instead focus in other areas. PevScale accelerators is an excellent technology, as it will give us access to arid colonization as well as prompt pioneering, increasing the speed in which our colonies develop into systems. Baryonic shielding is also a good choice. Not only does it unlock wormholes and savanna, but also level 2 and 3 curiosities, allowing our exploration ships to find rare resources, modules, events, or luxury resources. Another excellent tech is planetary landscaping, which has a similar effect to xeno-industrial infrastructure and public-private partnerships, giving scaling food per planet colonized. These 3 techs are imperative to your early game FIDSI and will boost it more than anything else. We will then take Galactic Commodities. This will unlock the Marketplace, which is useful for boosting populations, as seen under the Senate screen under Population Details. Well, we got lucky, and our population both require the same resource that we have available. If you do not, getting this tech will allow you to purchase the required resources from the Marketplace. Let's go ahead and boost these populations now. As you can see, this effectively doubles the output of our population. For our final technology, we will research multi-thread management. Researching 2 technologies in Era 2 of Economy and Trade will unlock our system development, which boosts our systems using luxuries as seen under the Economy screen. Unlocking system development early is a great boon to your economy and should be done as soon as possible. Let's take a look at our faction quest. These quests always start on turn 3 and can greatly improve your empire. The Cravers have 2 options, to either destroy or capture a vessel. While capturing the vessel will give you access to a powerful Tier 2 coordinator, this quest can take some time to do, so instead we will destroy it. This will lead us to a quest that gives Cyborg Stomachs, which gives plus 15 food on outposts, for a total of 25 with Prompt Pioneering, giving you access to rapid outpost development. We will then send our hero fleet towards the quest, which you can see outlined in this ring here, which will take some time. While we have the chance, I will show you another hidden trick to get the most out of hacking minor factions. While at war, we cannot be friends and receive economic bonuses you would normally get, so instead, once our hacking program transits, we will choose to improve the economy. This will give us its resources as if we had positive relations. Finally, we will edit our battle tactics and replace Plasma Distortion with Take Trophies. This will give us the option to scrap destroyed ships, which yields free resources from our faction quest. On turn 4, we will continue to explore and use this button to execute our fleet's movements. We will be moving our colonization ship down here to Naus, which is a very nice 6-planet system. Make sure to continue to move your fleet towards the faction quest. Once we have arrived at the quest location, we will proceed to do battle with the intruder. Make sure to select the Take Trophies battle card. After the battle is complete, you can see the yields that Take Trophies has given us. The influence is from our faction trait. Now, we can search the planet to receive Cyborg Stomachs. For the next chapter of the quest, we will choose the option that gives Rayar and Cius, as having another hero is much more useful than having a ship module that falls off in the mid-game. Let's search a few more curiosities here as well. We will then go back to our capital and move all of our population off of Husk and onto the Boreal planet we just colonized, successfully escaping Husk. Let's make sure to queue up a few constructions as well. We will get the science building, and we will build a pupa that we can send down here to colonize Talitha. For your first election at the end of turn 5, make sure to keep the militarists in power, as their laws are most useful early on for the Craver's warlike strategy. We will be using the lower fleets rule later to make fleets to attack the minor faction nearby so we can assimilate them. Once we have searched the last curiosities in Talitha, we will unassign our hero and assign them as a governor in our capital. Make sure to inspect and select the forced labor skills for some extra industry and food. We should also colonize Naus while we have the opportunity. Let's take a look at our system modernization after reaching Era 2 in Economy and Trade. We will be using the Super Spud luxury, as that is all we have available. To add it, click Components, then click the Super Spud, and you will see the effects that this will give us on our system. Since we have none available, let's see if we can purchase some from the marketplace. Always make sure to build these as soon as possible in your capital, as they give a massive amount of economic bonuses. We will purchase 25 Super Spuds, and then we will proceed to build this in our capital. Let's queue it ahead of the pupa. While we're here, let's go ahead and construct 2 more colonizers, and our sustainable farms for the bonus food. Let's also abolish the Exam Cram Act and pass the lower fleet costs. This will increase the speed in which our colonizers are built. After all, who needs technology when you can have military ships? Once these finish, we will begin construction of our first fleet. In preparation, let's get the technologies we need so we will be ready. First, we will improve our exploration ship hulls with machine bacteria. We will also get eukaryotic sap. This will give us bonus approval on our capital. As you continue to explore the galaxy, make sure to keep one exploration ship on standby in the system with your faction quest. This way you can search the Curiosity as soon as you have the necessary titanium. We will also colonize Tidaris. And we will take a look at the system where Hisho have tried to colonize us. We can use the greener grass outpost action to steal some of their food and increase the speed in which our colony develops. Also, we can assign the Efficiency Aficionado skill to our hero. Finally, we can unlock some military technologies. Efficient shielding will unlock our military attacker and defender hulls. We will only need the defenders early on, as they can mount the scrapping modules. Survival suits is useful for manpower conversion, as well as getting rid of excess Cravers to slow down depletion. Autonomous construction will double our fleet size and give us access to tanks, which you should always convert your manpower into as soon as possible. This is because tanks are really good at killing infantry, and don't have a counter until planes. We will finish with unstable isotopes, as will give us more energy damage, and it will unlock the Era 3 technologies here that will give us better weapons and shields. I will skip ahead until these are finished, so we can discuss effective ship designs for combating minor factions. Once we have the necessary titanium, we will search this Curiosity and get our hero. He will be very useful when fighting minor factions. For the next chapter of the quest, I will take the Accelerated Ovipositor. This will give us extra garrison capacity, which will not only make our systems more resistant to invasion, but will stack with a building that will increase production based on garrison capacity, as seen here in Era 3, the Sim Camp. We can also complete our hack of the minor faction. We will choose the Hack Economy option, which will give us bonuses as if we had improved relations. This will let the Cravers get more from their prey. As you can see up here, we are getting these bonuses even though we are at war. Let's also add big data shipyards to our construction queue, so we will be ready to produce ships in a few turns. Now that we have unlocked Tier 3 weapons, we will design the ships we will use to attack the minor factions. It will combine two ship types, a scrapping defender and a manpower exploration ship. For the defender, we will add a beam, an engine, the Hyperium Analyzer, as well as a shield and some plating. The Hyperium Analyzer will allow our fleet to get extra science when we destroy ships, boosting our early science production. This will help us convert our military strength into direct economic output, and is especially important as we will need Tier 3 technologies to unlock further colonization. For our other ship, we will choose the Exploration Hull. So let us create a new hull based on the Forager. While it is weaker and deals less damage than an attacker, it has 3 support modules, allowing us to add an engine and 2 manpower invasion modules, improved recruiting. Manpower modules increase the amount of ground troops in an invasion, enabling you to invade right away once the defending ships have been destroyed without a protracted siege. We'll also add 2 beams as well. And let's give it a funny name. Perfect. The reason we choose beams is because they deal good damage at all ranges and across flotillas. If we take a look at our battle cards, you can see that there are 3 flotillas, 1, 2, and 3, each starting at different ranges. So these are medium, and this one is long. They will also get progressively closer as the battle continues, so these 2 will get to close, and this long one will eventually get to medium, and eventually close. Each flotilla will first target the opposite flotilla, and should they destroy them, they will attempt to shoot the adjacent flotilla. For example, the middle flotilla can shoot the top and bottom, while the top flotilla can only shoot the middle, and the bottom can only shoot the middle as well. When this occurs, the lowest range of a weapon is always used, so, for beams, the beam always shoots at 90% effectiveness. This means that it will shoot at 90% effectiveness across flotilla. For kinetics, they will use 25% effectiveness, which is very, very poor damage. The lasers will use 50%. The only other weapon that deals full damage regardless of range are blast effect batteries, up here, bombers and fighters, here and here, and these, the shield interference beam. We will also convert our manpower from infantry to tanks. You can find this under the military screen, under Manage. Click the plus button until you have 100% tanks. You can also improve various attributes about your troops with these buttons here. This one will give 20% health to our tanks. Let's queue up our ships. We will be doing half defenders and half exploration ships. So we will do 8 marauders, 8, and 8 parasites. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This will give us just enough manpower to invade within 1 to 2 turns and lots of scrapping modules. When you first colonize a new system, I like to take these buildings in this order. First, we will get our modernization, drone networks, xeno-industrial, cerebral reality, then every colonization possible, followed by food and science. This will get your systems online the fastest. Lastly, let's get the technologies we will need to colonize the other planets in our capital. We will need swamp and lava. You can find lava over here, and swamp down here. So for now, we will get botanical scanning until we unlock Era 3. Once your first ship is produced, we can create the fleet and assign our hero to it. He comes with a very powerful level 1 skill, Endless Defenses. We will level this up first. Then, we will retrofit his ship, giving him some beams, a better engine, and this module here, the Fleet Accelerator. This will let your whole fleet move much faster. We will also give him some shields and some plating. Once you have gotten the technology to colonize your other system, we will move that ahead in the queue, and we will buy it out next turn. Also, make sure to queue up the other technology you need. In this case, it is Swamp, which we will finish in 3 turns. Now that Swamp has been unlocked, we can go ahead and queue that up, and we will purchase this construction. Having all of our planets colonized will give us the most bonuses to food, industry, and science from our buildings. Also, we are very close to depleting these worlds, so let's go ahead and move some of our Cravers off here. Once we have the swamp, we'll move the remaining Cravers onto the swamp and onto the lava. We can also pass a new law, the Spoils of War Act. This will give us lower military upkeep and extra scrapping when we destroy ships. This will allow us to farm this minor faction up here very effectively. We will also take this opportunity to research some technologies we have neglected. We will take the Hyperium technology. We will take adaptive bureaucracies for the Denark University. This gives excellent FIDSI. We will take Behemoth blueprints, and we will make our Behemoth a science Behemoth. So we want Behemoth analyzers over here. This will give your Behemoth extra science and technology reduction cost while it's orbiting a special node. Behemoth generators will also give you extra 2 movement points on your Behemoth, allowing you to maximize the amount of modules you put on for the economy. We will then move this Behemoth down here to BD7. While you're building your invasion fleet, it's important to look at how much manpower you have. Since we are building 4 more parasites next turn, we will not have enough manpower to fully retrofit them. So, on one of our systems, we will use what's called a chain gang. This will convert 2 of our Craver population into 600 manpower. That will be enough to equip our ships so we can start sending them up to Dagathor right away. Since we will finish researching our Behemoth technologies next turn, let's take a look at our science queue. The first technology we want is neurorobotics. This will not only give us access to adamantium, but also very powerful production buildings. We will then get astral finance, as opening up trading will give us access to lots of dust, and we will get evaporation inhibitors. This will unlock tier 3 and 4 curiosities, which will be very useful when we unlock our level 3 modernizations. We will then queue up some important buildings in our capital, like the intensive cultivation and intergalactic supermarket, as well as extra food and the Denark University. Once these are finished, we will then build our science Behemoth. After building our fleet, I went ahead and sent it to Dagnor. However, before we attack, in order to take advantage of our science scrapping, let's go ahead and queue up some technologies. We will get extreme atmospherics for the antimatter, and we will get atmosphere filtration for the extra approval, which we will need as all of our systems are becoming very unhappy. We will also get xenology for the spin project, as well as the academy, which will unlock extra heroes for us faster. Finally, we will get some technology buildings, including wave function control, graviton research, and autonomous materials, which will allow us to get to the infinite factory to complete our quest with our hero. Now that we have done this, let's go ahead and initiate battle with the minor faction. After initiating battle with the minor faction, make sure to select the Take Trophies battle card, and then hit the Advanced button. If you look, you can see that the minor faction only has the first and second flotillas available. This will give your ships a morale bonus. However, we do not need all of our ships in the third flotilla, so let's go ahead and move some into the first and second flotilla. Then we can initiate the battle. As you can see, we have won the battle and have only lost a single marauder. This is very good. Look at the amount of bonuses we got. That is a lot of science. If you do lose a ship, make sure you buy a couple from a neighboring system. When playing the Cravers, it is very important you micromanage your population. For example, let's take a look at Sedaris. Sedaris has completely filled up its growth, with only one planet. However, in 3 and 5 turns, we will unlock these other desert planets. In the meantime, we should send some of this population back to our capital. This way, this planet can grow some extra haraships for us. Being able to grow extra minor factions is very important, as eventually, we will have our capital and some of our other important planets completely filled up with only minor factions, with no Cravers at all. That is why we are attacking the minor faction here, to steal some of their population back to our capital. Another thing you can do, for example on Fidus, we have no minor factions. We should send a single minor faction from our capital over to Fidus. That way it has a chance to grow some. Before we end our turn, let's take a look at some of our system's production. Since we recently unlocked the industrial zones, let's go ahead and build these in all of our planets. We should also build the predictive logistics, and we will move these ahead of our other constructions, as getting more production will allow you to produce other things faster. Production is the most important thing early on, especially for the Cravers. Can also do so here, and in Sedaris. Perfect. We will continue to invade the minor faction and reduce the number of fleets they have. Once they have 0 fleets, we will be able to invade their system. As stated previously, it is very important to micromanage your population. On Husk, if we hadn't checked, we would have lost this planet in 2 turns. So let's move this population to another system we had. For example, we can move them to Fidus. This will essentially be our temporary Craver dumping ground. Uh-oh, it looks like the Hisho are attacking us. Let's go ahead and make a fleet to destroy them. For our slicer, we'll put the lasers on for the same reason. We'll put an engine, and we will use the plasma intensifier that we researched earlier. This will increase our damage substantially. Finally, we will put a plasmoid shielding on here. We will keep our Marauder as it is. Since we have the dust, let's go ahead and buy out these constructions and queue up our Marauder and some slicers. After wiping out the last of the Zavali defensive fleets, we are ready to invade. However, before we do so, let's check and see if we have any upgrades available for our armor. If we go to Manage, we can see that we can increase their damage by 20%. This could be the difference between a single turn or a multi-turn invasion. The less time we spend invading, the more time we spend destroying these other minor factions' fleets. So let's go ahead and invade. For our invasion, we are going to use the Blitz strategy. That is because it will give us extra tanks in our invasion. As you can see, we wiped them out in 1 turn without destroying any population or any improvements. Very lucky. We will choose the Occupy outcome. This will give us access to the full system as well as all the minor factions. We will go ahead and build this. This will allow us to ship all these Zavali back to our capital, where they will become our eternal slaves. After capturing a new system, it is important you send all of your Cravers out of your current systems to the new system before your current systems deplete. For example, in this system, we can send a couple Cravers to Dagathor. We can also do the same in Fidus. There are a lot of them here. We should send all of these to Dagnor. Perfect. Once we've built our level 2 modernization, let's go ahead and ship all of our new slaves, friends, back to our capital in Ida, where they can romp and play in our expansive feeding pits. How wonderful. This will conclude part 1 of the Craver Guide. You've learned how to build effective ships, manage your hungry Craver population, conquer minor factions, and make new, wonderful friends. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments, and make sure to like this video if you found it helpful. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Endless Academy. I will see you next time.